The FBI busts Silk Road, and the latest NSA leaks detail attacks on Tor. All that and more this time on ThreatWire.
Hello, welcome to ThreatWire. I'm Darren Kitchen.
I'm Shannon Morse.
This is your summary of what's threatening our security, privacy, and our beloved internet freedom.
Now, Darren, did you know there is a dark underbelly of the internets where a black market exists, and part of this black market is a site called Silk Road?
I've heard of said site.
Yeah. Oh, wait, really? What are you doing on there?
So
this is Silk Road is run on the Tor network, and Silk Road was the site used to go to for illegal drugs, hacking guides, and stolen credit card information, as well as a variety of other things as well. Now, they were run solely on bitcoins and used a series of complex algorithms to make all transactions anonymous as possible. On October 2nd, Ross Williams Ulbricht, aka Dead Pirate Roberts on the website, was arrested for being the man behind the company. Now the FBI is trying to seize all 600,000 of Ulbricht's bitcoins, totaling over, get this, $80 million worth. But so far they've only been able to access about 26,000 or 3.6 million of the Silk Road's community's bitcoins. Now currently Ulbricht is protected under the Fifth Amendment from giving away his private keys,
so
something
the private
he knows.
Key is protecting his money?
Exactly.
He's got a
So it's
password
his
worth
password.
$80 million.
Yeah, it's his password to his wallet,
password.
basically. But the FBI can't access those without the private key, and since it's something he knows, he's protected currently. Now, after the FBI seized the community's funds, hundreds of advocates started flooding the agency with messages such as, "Take the drugs, take the domain, but don't take the people's bitcoins." The seizure was only legal because Bitcoin is not recognized as a currency. Now, while they are receiving protests, though, local authorities are still working on arresting other people associated with Silk Road as well, for selling illegal drugs.
When you hear about Tor and the NSA, it's kind of related given...
More Tor!
Yeah, more Tor. If you've been watching the show, you guys are familiar with Tor, the anonymity network, sometimes called the Onion Router. And it uses, it's used really very greatly depending on what you're trying to do. I mean, people use it to maintain confidentiality in businesses, or whistleblowers like Edward Snowden use it to leak information to various media sources, or even bring the wonders of the vast internet to otherwise oppressive nations. So, actually even the military uses it, and Tor was in fact sponsored by the US Navy as well as the EFF. You know our friends over the EFF. It's actually come a really long way since the first alpha in 2002. The latest estimate puts Tor usage at around 4 million users. So through encryption, perfect forward secrecy, all of those technologies enable Tor hidden services to remain censorship resistant. Or at least that was the hope. No, we have reported that the FBI used a Firefox vulnerability to identify users run by the Freedom Hosting, it's a provider, Freedom Hosting. They provide Tor hidden services, those .onion sites that are only available through the Tor network. And the exploit took advantage of a vulnerability within Firefox, which at the time was part of the Tor browser bundle. The vulnerability has since been patched, while the authorities have pursued a case against Freedom Hosting's operator, Eric Marquez, on charges of facilitating child pornography on a massive scale. Now, more recently, as Shannon pointed out, Tor Hidden Services, ran what's known as Silk Road, a trading site for illicit drugs, among other things. Now, the targeted, this target and shutdown by the FBI, which led to the arrest of the alleged founder, these cases offer a really new insight into attacks against the Tor network. The FBI seems to have actually taken a page out of the NSA's Tor playbook using a technique known as egotistical giraffe. Now, the latest leaks from Edward Snowden include detailed briefings suggesting that while the NSA can't necessarily see directly into the Tor network, it does possess the ability to uncloak users by circumventing Tor's protections. As described by one of the Snowden leaked documents, the egotistical giraffe technique succeeded in unmasking 24 Tor users over the course of a weekend. It was also instrumental in the identification of an Al-Qaeda propagandist in the Arabian Peninsula. Now, you guys know our friend, the director of the National Intelligence, James Clapper. He made a statement about the agency saying that they seek to understand anonymity tools because of, quote, undeniable facts that these are the tools our adversaries use to communicate and coordinate attacks against the United States and our allies. Now, Roger Dingledine, the principal designer of Tor, said regarding the latest leaks, quote, if those documents actually do represent what they can do, then they're not as big of an adversary as I thought.
Wow.
I love that.
That's pretty awesome. Now, this week we would like to know how you feel about Ulbricht being protected by the Fifth Amendment. Now, the dead pirate Roberts was profiting off of an obvious drug market, and he made fortunes. Should he be obligated to give away his private keys so the FBI can seize his bitcoins or not? Now, remember, you can find all the ways to subscribe over at threatwire.org, and make sure to get involved in our Google Plus community.
That's where this discussion goes on all week. We love what's going on there. And with that, I'm Darren Kitchen.
I'm Shannon Morse.
We'll see you on the internet. Ta-da!
The free internet.